Hello everybody, Jim Kirkpatrick here, Kirkpatrick Partners. The series called The Journey from Persuasive to Convincing. This is our quick tip series that we think is really important, otherwise we wouldn't be talking with you about it, because it seems that stakeholders are moving the flag of expectations higher up the mountain. They are expecting more out of training and out of learning than the smile sheets and pre and post test scores. Their expectations seem to be increasing and elevating, and so it's important for us not to just give them persuasive evidence, but we must give them convincing evidence. And I am on the phone here with Ali Dickens from the UK, and she is one of our silver stars. I don't often refer to people by that, but these are people who are participating in our silver level certification program and really are our bright lights around the world. And better to hear it from someone who's actually doing this and moving along this journey rather than hearing from me all the time. So, Ali, welcome.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about your, who you are and your organization and your role with it, and then we'll get into your specific quick tip.
Well, as you've said, my name is Ali Dickens, and I'm responsible for all learning and development across the company here, which is NCFE in Newcastle in England. So yeah, and we've got a great company here. We're always wanting to improve how we do things, and we needed to improve the relationships that we have between our line managers and their teams. We have staff engagement surveys, and one of our lowest scores came back across the company for that relationship and building trust and inspirational leadership and so on and so forth. There's a strongly held belief here that our performance comes from our people, and therefore engaging people in the business better would therefore lead to better customer interactions and increased performance, meaning that we could grow as an organisation and invest in a strong future for ourselves. And growth is one of our priorities at the moment.
I remember when you and I talked months ago, you were mentioning about what you'd been doing, and the specific quick tip that I want you to kind of tell us about with this initiative that you shared has to do with being bold and helping to share the type of evidence that is going to take somebody who was, maybe a passive sponsor or an executive who was a bit skeptical, and turning them into a champion or an advocate as a result of what you shared. So if you could kind of get into the specifics of how you did that. And I do emphasize the point, I remember you, Ali, that you were very bold about it, and you were persistent, and you didn't take no for an answer. So could you tell us a little bit about that journey that you were on with the person?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like most people, levels 2 and 1 has been covered previously, and levels 1 and 2 had been reported really well. But actually what I wanted to do was prove the whole program, and most importantly for me was to prove that levels 3 and ultimately getting to level 4 is what we needed to do as a partnership approach. So what I was constantly doing was booking time in with the guy, and the first meeting that I had was to find out exactly what it was that was wanting to be achieved, what was the actual goal that we needed to get to, and from that I unpicked how what I did could filter in and be joined up with what the operational departments could do to support the people who were coming on the training programs, but also to actually impact on that bottom line or that goal that we were trying to get to. And the goal was to increase the engagement scores, which would thereby provide positive indicators of growth, etc., and that we wanted to make sure that the business was future fit. So what I did was speak openly and honestly all the time after building the relationships, and I actually said, I understand that training previously hasn't given you what you need it to deliver, that there is a gap between what happens in the training room and then what results are delivered afterwards, and I'd like to work with the business in a partnership approach that actually states what it is that we're trying to get to and how we're going to get there together. And then the program was written with that in mind and presented and questions for development needs analysis came out of the back of that, and we're well on the way to actually delivering that. I made sure that I didn't just pop in without knowledge. I understood the business and the goals from several different sources in advance, so I took different teams' perspectives into account as well when I went in to see the CEO, because then I could put forward any conflicting views that there were. Happily, there weren't any. The business is pretty much aligned, but I wanted to make sure that there was no flies in the ointments which might tip me up. So I did a lot of research prior to going in there and having the meetings, and I made sure that I knew, well, I started with the end in mind is the best way to put it. It's the perfect way to put it. And then because I was proven in what I was saying, and I was also given the information as I said I would, whatever the result might be, then that proved the point that actually here is something different, here is something that proves the value of the program and the partnership approach as well.
You know, Ali, I really like what you're saying. Not only were you bold, and you were bold, but you weren't a pest about it, and you didn't just say, hey, trust me, trust me, trust me. You spent your time doing your homework ahead of time and decided that you were going to be truthful and honest, which is what we need to do, because that's the only way you build trust.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, I completely agree.
And what kind of, have you seen any signs that this person has really taken to heart your honesty and your openness going forward?
Well, yeah, absolutely, Jim. I mean, I can go into the office now. I'm at the table, so to speak. I'm one of the decision makers when it comes to bringing new initiatives in. People think about learning and development in terms of training at the start of projects quite often now. It's not always done. Obviously, the road is never smooth before projects are taken on, and then also my opinion actually genuinely counts, and I can influence things that happen much more than I've ever been able to do before. So I feel like I'm valued and I have a voice because what I've said has been proven, if you like. So I now have an advocate, which is fantastic at such a level within the organisation as well.
Well, Ali, we sure appreciate it, and you know what you've done has certainly paved the way, you know, for the future, and you're just a good light for the rest of us. And I just want to continue to encourage you, you know, with what you're doing. And it sounds like your CEO and others around you have, first of all, they believe in the painting that you're painting, the model that you're showing.
Yeah.
But they also believe in the painter. You are the painter, and it sounds like he and others have trust in you at this point rather than just the model. And it's great to have you become convincing when you can sell them and they become emotionally connected to both the painting and the painter, and you've done a really good job with that. So we want to just thank you for your time here, and I want to encourage the rest of you to consider, you know, our bronze and silver level certification programs, because there is no article that I could recommend you read that can do what Ali has done. It would be really short selling the investment and the knowledge that needs to go into what she's doing. So Ali, again, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Jim. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this Kirkpatrick Quick Tip. For more information, visit our website at kirkpatrickpartners.com. Register with us to receive the weekly Quick Tip delivered right to your inbox and access to all of our online resources library with over 60 items.